And hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for Disney Plus's episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3. Now, if you have not seen Obi-Wan Kenobi yet, what are you waiting for? Go watch it because it's a lot of fun. So, let's begin. Okay, so the last time we left Obi-Wan, the new third sister, Reva, I believe her name is. And, oh yeah, before I begin, can we just please, as fans of comic book movies, and, you know, whether it's Star Wars, Marvel, DC, whatever, can we just be nice? Instead of being racist, people, please? Leave the poor girl alone. She's just doing her job. She's great. Let her act in this damn show, please. Okay, the poor actress can't even get a break. She gets a break to be in part of Star Wars, which a lot of y'all will want one day, and then you are all turning your back on her for why? Just because she's black? Who cares? She's in Star Wars. Get over it. She's awesome. Let's just move on. So, now let's talk about the episode, because honestly, this was a very interesting episode. There's some stuff in here I liked, and then there's some stuff in here I didn't like. But I'll get to the good stuff first. So, we all know that Obi-Wan is still continuing on his quest to get Leia back home safely to Alderaan. Because remember, the last time he had to go get Leia, she was kidnapped, so that way they can draw out Obi-Wan from hiding. And he didn't want to leave Tatooine because, he wanted to protect Luke. But he figures, he owes, Leia as well. That's Padme's daughter, so he's got to at least, protect her in some way. So, he's protecting her by taking her back to Alderaan. Unfortunately, they kind of run into a little snag when they get into a cargo transport. The cargo transport goes to its destination, where they go to a planet where it's basically cargo gets dropped off, and, a mining planet. Of course, Reva shows up with not only stormtroopers, but unfortunately she goes to the big boss himself. No, not the Emperor, but Lord Vader himself. That's right, we get to see Darth Vader in his full look, which, by the way, he's got that slick look from Rogue One, which was awesome, and I loved how he has the eyes and it looks great. James Earl Jones is back as the voice of Darth Vader, which, thank you. You cannot do this without him. It's like saying, oh, let's do Lion King without Mufasa, without having his voice. You can't do it. The guy is Vader, Yeah, Hayden Christensen's in the suit, which is awesome, but, you gotta have his voice. So, thank goodness he came back. We got to see James Earl Jones do his thing again, and it was great seeing. We even get to see Mustafar and what Vader has done with that planet. He basically turned into a freaking palace for himself. He has a throne and everything. He's talking to Reva, saying, hey, listen, the Inquisitor's gone. You go do what you got to do. Go track down Obi-Wan, or you're going to be in problems with me. So she has to go now, officially find Obi-Wan, and the search pretty much goes from there. Look, seeing Darth Vader again on the big screen and doing more, because we do see him in this episode, it was awesome. I mean, there's a moment in this episode, comes later in the episode, where he's in the town where Obi-Wan and Leia are hiding, and they end up finding the person who was supposed to help them is some woman who apparently she kind of smuggles, Jedi out of planets, or younglings who have force sensitive, powers, get them out of there before they get snuffed out by the Empire. She used to work for the Empire. She thought it would be a good job. Fortunately, she found out they're a bunch of scum, so she decided to bounce and, kind of be like the Resistance in a way. So we get to the point where Vader goes to the town. We even get to see, before that, there's one scene here that I really liked, but it might be retconning certain things that happen in Star Wars later on. There's an episode where Obi-Wan and Leia have to take a transport to the next town to go to the landing base so they can get out of there. So they meet this alien. He gives them a ride. Stormtrooper shows up. They get a ride as well. And then they start making up a story like, oh yeah, we come here to see her, where I met her mother, and she passed away, and we just want to remember. And then there's a moment where Leia is like, oh, you knew who my real mother was. So did they just retcon the fact that Leia knew she was adopted? Remember, Leia's adopted. You know, her mother is Padme Amidala. Her father's Anakin Skywalker. But Padme's gone, and Vader's now, you know, Anakin's now Vader. She doesn't know that. She isn't supposed to know that until years later, because Luke doesn't even know that, and he doesn't find out until Empire. So, are they gonna retcon that stuff? I mean, I don't mind them retconning that, because I kind of wish she knew who her mother really was. But, hey, if they retcon that, I don't know how I feel about that, because it's kind of weird that she will know before Luke does, because then the whole I am your father kind of loses demeanor a little bit, if you know what I mean. If she finds out, I mean, they're sending like little hints about it, but not too sure yet. But we'll find out what happens. Anyway, then Vader shows up, and oh boy, do we see Vader. The man literally just walks into the town like, and it was a great shot too. There's you know how those Western films, you know, you see like a shadowy figure showing up in town, the outlaw or the, you know, the bandit or whatever it is. They walk into town, everybody's like hiding, you know, they're closing their saloons and all that. And it felt like that with Vader. Vader shows up, and it's dark, it's nighttime, so he shows up. He's got the silhouette coming down. You see him. He doesn't ignite his lightsaber. He just starts walking slowly like he always does. But he's intimidating. Like, intimidating. He is just wrecking people with the Force. He's using the Force choke that he always does. That's his most iconic move he has. He's killing poor people to the point where a young boy comes out to try to save his father. He gets smacked into the wall, and then he gets his neck chopped. You know, broken in half. So I thought that was very brutal, but very cool to see. He grabs a woman, and he's trying to play mind games with Obi-Wan. He's trying to get Obi-Wan to come out to face him. And Obi-Wan is still scared the fact that Anakin's alive, and he's like this now. So it's kind of cool to see, you know, from Obi-Wan's perspective. Like, the man's afraid. The man's really afraid. But, you know, he's going to overcome that, because we all know what happens to him in the future. But man, seeing Obi-Wan do that was just like crazy. And Vader just being so powerful at this point in his newfound, I guess, look as Vader. Because remember, when he was just Vader, he got his butt whooped. Yeah, we all know that. And he lost the first round. Second round, right now, we got to see it. We even get to see them fight. And it was great. For a moment. I mean, it wasn't really a fight, but it was just more of a, like, yeah, showing us how powerful Vader is. And I still liked it, even though the fight wasn't really that good. Because, like I said, it was really showing us how powerful Vader was and how scared Obi-Wan was to fight him. He didn't even want to ignite the lightsaber to the point where he was shaking. He had to escape. Of course he did, but before all that, Vader pretty much kind of burned him a little bit, kind of like the way where he got burned. And he was just standing there watching him as he was dragging him with the Force. So I thought that was a cool little foreshadow for what Episode 3 was, in you know, vice versa, but still pretty cool. And then of course the ending pretty much shows that Reva shows up. She shows up and she captures Leia. What does that mean for next week's episode? No idea. But it's gonna be fun, nonetheless. But yeah, my only, like I said, my big negative about this episode is like, they didn't really need to show us them fighting with the lightsabers. I mean, they did. It was a cool scene. Don't get me wrong. In the dark, it was really cool. You know, it felt really nice. But I just felt like they should have just showed us, instead of him fighting Vader, he should have just been running away from Vader, proving that, yeah, Vader is at this point very powerful, and Obi-Wan's just too scared to show how scared he is. He's too scared. Because remember, Obi-Wan at this point is already more powerful than Vader, but Vader doesn't know that. Vader just knows, like, oh yeah, you're scared of me. I'm more stronger than you. So he thinks he's stronger than Obi-Wan. But as soon as Obi-Wan conquers that fear, he's gonna beat the living crap out of him. So yeah. But it should be fun when we officially get the actual fight when Vader and Obi-Wan go head to head, you know, not scared anymore kind of way. So we'll see. So right now I put the score as 1-1. You know, Obi-Wan won episode 3. Vader won this one. Technicality, but still he kind of won this round. So I'll give it to him for this just, you know, intimidation factor. But it should be fun to see. I really hope that the next time they actually clash, it's a real fight and we get to see an actual definitive winner. You know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about this. And were you guys excited to see Lord Vader come back? Are you guys excited to see what's going to happen next, especially with Leia being kidnapped again? And what does that mean for Obi-Wan? So leave a comment below. Let me know. Thank you very much, and have a good day.